In recent weeks, we've been actively reporting from several significant global events in New York City. These events included the Summit of the Future Action Days, the Summit of the Future, the United Nations Global Compact Leaders Summit, Fridays for Future, and many others. Throughout these pivotal gatherings, we had the privilege of connecting with an array of remarkable individuals, leaders, innovators, and activists from around the globe. Our team conducted numerous in-depth interviews, exploring their perspectives on some of the most pressing issues of our time, including climate change, social inequality, and technological progress. In the coming weeks, we will be sharing these insightful interviews, stories, and behind-the-scenes highlights from our experiences at these events. Stay tuned.
Hello, this is Martin Caponi for Global Society News, again from the Harvard Club, New York. Now with me is Indrani Pal-Chaudhuri, futurist, filmmaker, founder, and many others. And she will tell us what she will come for here to New York to the Climate Week.
Wonderful to meet you. I'm the convener of this event, which is at the Science Summit of the United Nations, Leaders of Regeneration. And I come to New York because I'm very passionate about saving our planet, particularly focusing on ecosystems which are collapsing around the world, and indigenous-led wisdom in harmony with science, technology, and business approaches to solve humanity's grand challenge.
Okay, thanks for that. Please tell us something about your own foundation.
Sure. So I run and co-founded Shakti Regeneration Institute. It's been 25 years. We founded it in India when I was a teenager. I founded it with my dad. I got him out of retirement to come and help run it because I suddenly found myself faced with 300 children that I had brought on board from the poorest communities, and we provide empowerment education for girls and women.
Okay. And what you will do the next days here?
So I spoke on 2 panels yesterday at the Science Summit at the United Nations. Tomorrow I'm presenting my film at another event for 3 hours with Indigenous panels and science panels. Wednesday I'm doing a World Health seminar, and then Thursday we're doing the conclusions of this Leaders of Regeneration at Cure.
Okay, maybe.
And then we met again.
Yes.
Please tell me, when we talk about global society, and of course everything you do is part of the global society, I mean the indigenous cultures and these things. Please tell me what you think about when you think about global society.
I think it's incredibly important that global societies radically communicate and share knowledge. You know, we often have a very adversarial relationship. We have American film and entertainment that is projected around the world, and I'm part of that industry. But there's often a great loss on the other side of that, where young people are growing up following American superheroes and losing touch with their own heroes of their culture, their own languages and knowledge bases. So I think it's very important that we recognize that multiple human systems of knowledge, traditions that have been passed down for thousands of years have great intrinsic value, and just because they're not the tradition that you grew up in doesn't mean it can't be incredibly useful for you. And in fact, it's through looking at similarities between these different traditions and their modern heroes as well that we can really scale our capacity to solve the challenges that we're faced with today. I think too often these are siloed. Our information systems are separated. So in universities you can study about a culture, but you don't get that cultural perspective in your studies for science and technology and all the other areas that need to have a much broader base of knowledge.
Okay. Last but not least, would you call yourself a global citizen?
I am absolutely a global citizen. I was born in India. I was raised with Mother Teresa. My mother was a volunteer with her. And then I lived in Canada, England, and now in the US. And I'm working intensely in the Amazon. Shakti Regeneration Institute, which started in India, has now expanded And as its executive director, I've led this transformation from just education and empowerment to protecting ecosystems, regenerating indigenous cultures, and helping the rest of the world to learn from these cultures and to work together to save our planet. The other aspect of what I do so I have the nonprofit Shakti Regeneration Institute, and then on the profit side, I am the co-founder of Open Origin. We do green energy for supercomputing to allow for AI to not be destructive by taking up all of our energy sources and causing us to create more harm, but rather to be innovative so that we can use the AI and other technologies to solve the grand challenges without the cost to the environment.
Indrani, also I know that you have an incredible career, and let us know something about that, please, about your way up to now.
Well, I started as a photographer. Being an immigrant child leaving India, where my mother was a volunteer with Mother Teresa, and I was raised in that mindset, when I came to Canada and America, the only thing that connected me back to my family was photography and storytelling, and that's how I became a photographer at 14. I wanted to intern as a photographer, but I was a too small, skinny girl, so I became a model because that was a way to learn, and an actress, and I traveled the world. I became a successful photographer after David Bowie discovered my work, and Iman, his wife, in an underground magazine while I was a student at Princeton studying anthropology. And they launched my career both as a photographer and then a decade later as a director. I directed David Bowie's music video for Valentine's Day, which is about a mass school shooter. And so that launched my trajectory. So I did photography. I helped to launch Beyonce with her first album art, Lady Gaga as well. And I have worked in marketing and advertising. I run Double Exposure Studios, which is a company that does production and marketing. Now I'm using all of those skills to try to help save the forests and indigenous cultures. So bringing everything together, the ability to share these stories which haven't been heard, and also provide the technology with the green energy solutions for indigenous communities that have suffered deforestation. We can bring in solar panels and green, and help them to be stewards of energy so that they can have resources that are not extractive and not destroying the environment, and continue to reforest and protect us from what otherwise will be the end of humanity in 5 to 10 years when we lose the Amazon.
Okay. If I understand right, this is one of your works, yeah?
Yes, these are all my works.
Okay, wow, impressive. What's the story behind that photo, please?
This one is an image of Vari. She's the female leader of the Puyanawa tribe. She's actually an incredibly remarkable woman. The only time I could catch her is when she was cooking, she's running, doing all of these things. But she helped to lead her tribe back to the traditional ways, back to the forest, back to harmony with nature, after they had been massacred and forcibly removed from the forest and enslaved and lost their lands. They were able to gain their freedom, and then because of this woman, her dreams and her ability to rally people, they returned to their traditional ways, and one of the first tribes to do so. And they've been a bridge now between many tribes, and so part of what Shakti Regeneration Institute is doing is helping to provide the science and technology and the financing so that these indigenous communities who are doing incredible work for reforesting get the support of satellite technologies. We've seen when the fires coming. We have 120 scientists who are working on measuring and monitoring of biodiversity so that we can develop carbon and biodiversity credits. And we're also creating bioeconomies, but with the indigenous leadership. So everything is in service of their needs to protect the most important forests for humanity.
Okay, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Good luck with every of your projects.
Thank
It was
you
a
so
pleasure.
much. Wonderful.